Since the experience of new object is not familiar, how does one tell whether it's a Vipassana object or is an imaginary one made by the mind? Since the experience of new object is not familiar, how does one tell whether it is a Vipassana object or an imaginary one, the mind made by the mind? Okay. So how are you going to differentiate? That day in the Dhamma talk, I said that connected with the skills of picking up the meditation objects, that a yogi must be learned to familiarize with the objects of the Vipassana objects. But of course, as you progress, there will be objects that's very unfamiliar to you. Say, for example, again, like the heartbeat, perhaps. Heartbeat, you may not be so familiar with it. How could you, not rising and falling, suddenly the heartbeat becomes so clear? Then sometimes some yogis tend to have a lot of thinking about whether this is a right or wrong meditation object. Or sometimes like a rising and falling, instead of going front, forward, backward, it goes turning a little bit, it goes sideways a little bit, it goes to the back. It do a lot of like funny things that you are not sure whether it's correct or not. So here in the many talks, usually in the beginning of the retreat, there's one talk is always connected with differentiating between what is the reality, what is a suitable object for Vipassana, and what is not a suitable object for Vipassana. And that in the beginning of the practice of a yogi, you must learn to differentiate between these two. The mind-made object or conceptual object. Now, the conceptual object is, of course, this is created by the mind. But it's not just only created by the mind, but it can also come through our senses. Say, for example, when we talk about you see somebody. When you see somebody, you put the name there, you put the person there, or you're looking at the hair, you're looking at the face, you're looking at a car, you're looking at a mountain. Then all these type of things, it's conceptual. What actually we see is only lights only, actually. Colors only. Colors. Not lights, colors. It's only colors only that what we see. It's our mind that is processing it, conceptualizing it, that it becomes 3D, it becomes certain shape, and the names and so on comes in. That falls under concept. Mind made by the mind, created by the mind. I use the word not suitable for Vipassana, but doesn't mean that it is wrong, not suitable. Because if you use those objects, mind-created object, that means that you were not able to see the reality, the true nature of anicca, dukkha, anatta, or the true characteristic of an object. Because it's created. It's created. It's like a mirage. Created. Whereas, what is real? What is reality object? Here, the reality object is that you can able to notice them without thinking about it. For example, like the pain, you have to think about it, man. No need, you don't have to think about it. You put the attention there, it's there. You feel it, it's there. You put the rising and falling, you feel it, it is there. You feel the touch of your palms, hot or cold, it is there. So those things are that you can able to notice clearly, then those are reality. Those are suitable for Vipassana objects. Because if you pay attention to them, then they shows their true characteristic. They show the things as they really are. Then with these characteristics that you see, you will go deeper into changes, impermanence, dukkha, and so on, anatta, and so on. You will see them truly until you can able to get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth, the whole process. So that is important. That those object is important because when you notice this object, it brings you out of samsara. But if you notice, if you take up the conceptual object, even like, for example, you're doing metta also is conceptual object. You're doing karuna is conceptual object. You're doing upeka in the sense of Brahma Vihara is a conceptual object. So those things are conceptual, therefore it will not show this anicca, dukkha, anatta. You can think about anicca, dukkha, anatta, but the thinking is still concept. It's not the true reality type of anicca, dukkha, anatta. So there's two types of anicca, dukkha, anatta. One is that you truly observe, one is what you think. But most of the time is what we do is we think about it. We think, we ponder, we reflect upon those things. That's why we cannot get out of samsara. We get more wiser, worldly wiser, but cannot get out of samsara. So that's why it is good that we learn to familiarize ourselves with what is the suitable object for vipassana and what is not suitable. Now, let's say you practice. Take, for example, you practice, you meditate, rising, falling. Suddenly you notice heartbeat. Then you notice, hey, how come like that one? Is this real or not? Then in the beginning part, if you're not sure, you ask yourself first, hey, this one real one or I make up one? This one? Then you have to go and test it out and see. Do they actually peep up there? No? Or you're just created by the mind. Then it's truly peep up there. That means you can notice it. That means it's a real object. Okay, it is a real object. Or sometimes, like for example, you sit down there, then suddenly rising, falling, go turning. You open up the eyes. No, I'm not turning it. Just go up and down. But you close the eyes. The moment you close the eyes, it's still turning. Then how can? You tell yourself, okay, don't think about it. To learn to feel it. Still turning. Then again here, then it's not mind-made already. That is all real already. It's just that you are not familiar with it. Or sometimes there may be vibration coming in, for example. And the vibration that is coming in like all over the body, running here and there. Then say, hey, how come it's like that one? And then I thought that we are supposed to take up one object at one time only. How come there's so many objects that come together? Am I making it up or is it real? You ask yourself. Then you are not sure, you put your attention inside there again and pay attention. See whether it's actually mind-made or actually it's real. So you can able to feel it, then well and good. Then it's real. But the problem is that it's on the other side. Those that you are familiar with, but it is not real object. Especially the conceptual created object. So it is not real, it becomes real to you. Inverted, that even more problem. It becomes even more problem. For example, mind-made object. Now the mind-made object sometimes it created like, for example, say for example, images come in and then maybe you see the Buddha there. Let's say the Buddha come in. But it is so clear to you that like you never seen it before. You can never seen these things before, but it's so clear to you. Then it must be real. How can it be not real anymore? I close my eyes. The moment I close my eyes, it's all there already. The Buddha, all in all its glory and whatever, Your mind created until it becomes so shining and whatever lah. Then you think that it's all real. Then after that, you start to interpret it. Oh, I already reached some stages of insight, or already got enlightenment, and so on. Yeah. So because of that, the mind get caught into it, into this type of delusion and wrong understanding or even wrong view. Yeah? So these type of things happen. So again here, where is the important part? The quality of the mind that it can able to differentiate these two is the quality of the wisdom. Sometimes you use the word uh, sampajanya. We use the word sampajanya. So one of the quality of sampajanya is to able to differentiate between what is the right object, what is the not the suitable object for vipassana. Yeah? Now a lot of times, as I said, when you meditate, rising, falling, mind rising, falling, and then after that, while in between the thinking slip in, then you forget, and then you go with the thinking already. You follow the thinking song already, After that, you can smile, you can laugh, you can cry. Uh, so the what is not real, because it's right in front of us, we can slip into it, and then things looks quite real or very real to us. And even sometimes that some yogis, they thought that they meditate, then after that, this type of thoughts come in. They thought that they can see whatever the household people are doing, their families, whatever they are doing there, as if like they got foresight, or to see all these type of things. So they believe that they all these type of things. So all these are all mind made, or mind created. So don't get involved into it, don't get fall into it. That is dangerous. Now, the other one, just now, the earlier one that we said, that Vipassana objects, and you're not sure whether this is real or this created. And let's say you ask yourself already, you ask yourself, and you're still not sure. Yeah, you're still not sure. Of course, if there is a teacher to help you during interview, then well and good. But if let's say there's no teacher to help you, what are you going to do? So if you're not sure, then again, you fall back to an object that you are sure. Let's say you fall back to a rising and falling, and you know that you are sure about it. But then after that, this thing come back again. That particular thing, it come back again. Then this time, you take a look again, whether it's real or not real. If you're still not sure, back again to rising and falling. But then later part, it comes back again. So after to and fro and all these type of things, and you become more alert about them, aware of them, then usually you know that whether this is a created object or whether this is a true object, a real object for Vipassana. Yeah? So other words, in the basic means more practice on it. The more practice you do, the more familiar with all these type of objects. Yeah. If you don't practice, then of course, a lot of objects you are not going to be very familiar with. Okay, let's go.